All right, guys, welcome back to Above Ground World News. Welcome in. We're reporting from FEMA Region 7. We got a bunch of weather news to get into, bunch of headlines to get into. Before we get into this stuff, just got to show you one thing. If you're coming here to watch the Weather Channel or AccuWeather or one of them other kind of mainstream weather sites, this is not for you. This is where you're gonna find out the truth about the weather. And let me just show you a couple things before we jump into this. And I just want to show you back here in 1891, they were producing rain using balloons. I'll have all these links in the description. Also, back in 1914, weather made to order using electrical control. These guys have been affecting the weather since the late 1800s. You can find all this information over at weathermodificationhistory.com, the timeline of all this stuff. But just massive, crazy stuff. But you got to know that what you're seeing in the skies today is not what the weatherman says. That they're paid to lie to the people, all of them. Oh yeah, here's just another little quick thing here. Well, let's check this out.
Finding solutions for water. In the early 2000s, the UAE started performing regular cloud seeding operations. Cloud seeding is the process of increasing the amount of rain produced from clouds.
Some of these clouds, by nature, sometimes it rains, for example, only 40 to 50% of its rain that processed in the cloud that comes as rainfall.
So there you go. There's just another one. I have so many companies that do not lie about the weather engineering programs. We actually have a company over in the Middle East called the links are in the description. Who is that? The Weather Generators. They have been cloud seeding, or not cloud seeding, but they have been using the I'm trying to type while I'm talking here. Here, let me go ahead and finish my thought. But they have been using cloud ionizers for the last 7 years to steer the atmospheric river over Iran. When you see the bad floods over there, they admit to it. They love it. They want to turn the desert green. But anyway, here we go. Let's jump into the show. Storm chasers are headed to the Midwest ahead of the strong storms expected this weekend. Now, I titled this video, Tornado Outbreak Expected. And it's been expected, and we're going to get in to show you why it's been, we know why here, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. All right. Nebraska farmer had to amputate his leg with a knife to escape an auger bit. This happened up in Omaha, not in Omaha, Nebraska, but up in Nebraska. This poor guy, he's recovering after cutting off his own leg with a pocket knife to save himself from a piece of farm equipment he become caught in. The 63-year-old was out of Pender, Nebraska. But anyway, this poor guy got his leg in there. He didn't have his cell phone with him, so he had to cut his own leg off and then crawl like 150 feet to a phone. But he's going to be okay. But these are the kind of people we need on our team, some tough guys like this. We need to take up for the farmers because they are getting completely ripped off right now from the weather warfare. Here we go. Rare storm made drenching California with unusually heavy rainfall. Well, there's nothing unusual about it. They are steering this rain, and we're going to show you just how they're doing it tonight. So grab you a cup of coffee. We're going to get into this all. So rain, rain thunderstorms to soak San Francisco and San Diego, and they just call it unusual rain. You know, that's just code word for, hey, we're going to make it rain at least 5 inches of rain here in the next 24 hours, 24 inches of snow above 7,000 feet. We're going to create some flash flooding and some mudslides. We're going to drop some big ass hail on you. So that's just one of the articles there. Here's another one. Long duration severe weather outbreak threatens 18 states with dangerous storms. An 8,000 square mile swath of the United States will be at risk for rounds of severe thunderstorms. 800,000 square miles. Remember the show just a couple nights ago about the company admitting that they can cover 10 or 100,000 square miles with just one of their some of their electromagnetic frequencies that they use to steer the atmospheric rivers. But check out all these severe thunderstorms. This is late Friday going into Friday night. And when is this one here? We'll be doing our own stuff on this. So now they got the cold Pacific storm to bring rain, snow, and possibly hail. It's nothing possible about it because they are doing it. Here's another one. Highly unusual sequence of winter-like storms headed for California in late May. You know, doing a little ice nucleation up there. Want to make sure they got, you know, a few more feet of snow up on top of these mountains. I'm still wondering if with all this snow weight, I mean, they're hundreds of times over the normal amount of snow on these mountains. I'm just waiting for an earthquake to set off, especially with the solar activity that's coming in. Just the pure weight of the snow and the pure weight of the water can cause an earthquake. Just go back and look at when they built the dams and when they were transferring the water, they created some like 4.7 earthquakes. Now this just come out yesterday. The rising Mississippi River prompts historic open of Bonnet Carry spillway near New Orleans. This is going on all the way down the rivers from the border to the ocean, from the northern border all the way down. This is how bad. This is like days of the Noah flooding. Biblical flooding for sure. Severe weather, we don't need to go into any of these because we've already looked at them. Here's another crazy thing, Earth thing going on. The CO2 levels measured in Hawaii hit a milestone not seen in human history. This was just from a couple days ago. The carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere measured at a facility on top of Mauna Loa hit an alarming new daily baseline above 415 parts per million over the weekend. They said that the baseline high is linked to the ongoing use of fossil fuels and the effects of a mild El Nino. We have no El Nino. Just yesterday they lowered the level. This is coming from the volcanoes. This is the stuff seeping out of the ground. The magma chamber is going to refill and blow again. These guys are such liars. They try to blame everything on the climate control. They call it climate change, but that's code word for climate control. Now, check this out. The largest hailstone ever recorded was in Nebraska. Now, I heard it was 8 inches, but according to the insurance claims, this thing measured at 7 inches in diameter and weighed almost 2 pounds, 1.67 pounds. This happened back in July 23rd, 2010. Oh yeah, here it is. South Dakota, measuring 8 inches in diameter and weighing 1.94 pounds. So these are all man-made, man. These are not normal storms. What's happening is they're using so much metal particles, you know, from all the aerosols that are being deployed in your sky. We're going to show you that they're doing it. In fact, before I read any farther into this, let's go right over here to what's going on real time right now. These are not water vapor lines. All these crisscrossing patterns. This is a cloud seeding operation. Here we are in Iowa. We got Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota. If you look, they're spraying up over the border, coming down. This is a cloud seeding operation. They're actually setting up for the severe weather that's coming in. Now, when they get all these metal particles up here, it not only sticks to the nuclei to create the raindrops, they can also control this with the ground-based radars. We show all the companies that use this technology. It's electromagnetics. It's all documented, all proven. This is not a conspiracy or anything like this. This is fact. So anyway, let me get that back out there. We'll be back at that map a little later. Stream's been holding up here. In fact, let me go ahead and pause that so it's not running in the background. So anyway, all these links are in the description here. Some of the Colorado's most costly hailstorms. I mean, we're into the billions. $1.19 billion in the Denver metro area. But yeah, there's a lot of statistics here from the weather that you can find out. That's in the description too. Okay, here's something I missed the other day. I had it, but I forgot about it. This was on the 14th, this article. But I know it happened a few days ago. But Ohio school closed after enriched uranium discovered inside. They weren't prepared for something like that. What the heck? So school has been forced to close the rest of the year after enriched uranium was discovered inside Neptunium-237, a byproduct of a nuclear reaction, and plutonium production was also detected in the middle school in the town of Piketon, about 80 miles east of Cincinnati. Both substances are radioactive and can cause cancer. So how the heck did this get in here? I need to read this. So the source of the enriched uranium remains unclear. What? How could it be unclear? Okay, so they suggested the nearby Portsmouth gaseous diffusion plant, located 2 miles from the school, might be responsible. Whenever they say might, maybe, you know, words like that, they know that's it. The facility previously produced enriched uranium, including weapons grade uranium. So somebody has stolen this and somehow got it into the school. You know, we're still waiting for the false flags. I remember reporting a couple years ago where a bunch of propane tanks were stolen, bunch of cell phones, and there was a worry about them blowing up the dams. So anyway, heads up on this. Also, don't forget, out in St. Louis right now, there's been a fire burning underground, headed for a radioactive dump site underground from back in World War II. I mean, it just keeps inching closer and closer. What is going to hit? All right, heartbeat abortion ban expected to pass with limited debate in Missouri. So that's a good thing. So they're going to save maybe a few lives here instead of the rituals and all the other crazy stuff they do. Citing concerns from NASA, senators urged the FCC to rein in on 5G expansion. This is where it gets crazy, because the scientists from NASA and other agencies are warning that the 5G operations in high-band spectrum could interfere with weather forecasting. Hell, these weather forecasters are always just reading a script anyway. It won't affect them one bit. But anyway, you think that's going to stop it? No, that will not stop it. They're still going to go full geostorm. Well, somebody sent me this Lifeboat Foundation. They do a bunch of crazy stuff here. This is like a different things here, but here's an archive for the geoengineering category. A laser has been used to generate small clouds on demand in a lab. The real-world experiments suggest this could be a way to call down rain when it's needed. People have experimented with the cloud seeding for decades. How about hundreds of years? So anyway, this link's in there. Sucking CO2 from the atmosphere could save the planet. That's what they're doing down in Australia. They're sucking the CO2 out. Isn't that what helps make things grow? Science has discovered a bizarre way to potentially control the weather using laser beams and could potentially beat the threat of droughts. Man, they're already doing all this stuff. Weather modification is real, and LA just placed in order. So anyway, the link's in the description. All right, let's jump into some weather stuff now. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. Much love out there. So what we're looking at right here, this is the 16 days of moisture. I'm just going to go up like 6 hours at a time. You can see over here at California, you're talking, a couple inches in a 24-hour period. The dams do not need any more of this. When you only have one sheriff in the town to come forward to try to calm the fear from the people that live below this dam, something's not right. What about the people who built the dam? How come they're not coming out telling people, hey, we got this thing fortified, it's going to be able to handle all this extra rain? But no, they're not coming out. Is any other agency coming out saying that there's not going to be an issue with the dam? No. One sheriff who could possibly be the fall guy. Wow, look at the amounts of rains down here by Cuba. We're looking at feet of rain. We may have to expand that out to see what the heck's going on down there. Anyway, so yeah, we're looking at a little bit of yellow in here, and that could be snow, but we're looking, 16 inches of rain still. We forecasted this out 2 weeks ago, and there it is. It's still coming. It actually looks like a little smaller scale there. Let's go ahead and check the snow. What's it going to do with the snow? Because this is pretty crazy that the only winter weather in the whole United States is in California. When you think of California, you're thinking sunshine, you're thinking hot, nice weather. But no, we have snow coming down in the greens in the next 24 hours. So look at these snow amounts. This is supposed to be May 15th, but this is more of a, February, March type system. Look, we're getting a lot of snow here in Colorado still. We're in the greens, 18 inches, 20 inches. So yeah, look at all this snow that's going to be falling all around the Northwest. So these storms are all completely engineered. Like I said, I showed you they've been doing this since the 1800s. And I want to take a quick look at this water vapor map. This is the more microwave imagery, and all the companies that I reveal and show, this is what they steer. They steer the rivers of the sky. It's all documented. Like I said, the links are in the description for them companies, just right there. Let me look here. If you go to the just some of the first few links, when you scroll down, you can see there's a YouTube link that goes to the people who document the weather generating that they're doing over in the Middle East. And you got the company, the weather generator. They're the ones that shut down here on the 13th. They're letting another company take over with some more powerful technology for 1 month. And you got the Global Climate Control Trading Company. That's the one that steers the hurricanes with the ionospheric heaters and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, when we take a look at this atmospheric river here, Now, this atmospheric river I've been watching for over 5 years, and normally it whips up and goes up into Alaska. And whenever they're not affecting this, that's where it goes. And then the water vapor kind of comes up and curls around. But nowadays, they're pulling this sucker straight down into California. And you can see they're shutting it down right there on the border of Oregon. The other thing they're doing, they're pulling this atmospheric river up from the Gulf of Mexico. I showed last night all the ionospheric heaters, like down in Peru, up at the north base up north. They're everywhere. There's VLF transmitters, super darn scatter radars. They're all over the place. This atmospheric river here is being sucked in. Look at it, almost does a 90-degree turn. It's not possible. This thing should be whipping around like waves of water, but it's not. It's being pulled in straight lines. We can see the actual blast and pulse waves that are affecting this thing. Oh, while we're here, we might as well take a quick look at the forecast model. So let me get this on. The precipitation, rain and frozen. And don't forget, you got all the ground-based water vapor, the cooling towers, the water generators. So right now, here we are looking. Let's crank this up to 6 hours. Look at that heavy rainfall for Northern California. Look at the rain and snow. In fact, maybe I ought to zoom in on this so we can get a little bit better look at this. A little bit closer look. So there we go. We got a low pressure of 993. Now, how'd this low pressure get here? Well, we documented it all week. There was a huge ship operation. We're talking weather control ships that were dumping off a bunch of bunker fuel. That's what we call it. It's like the leftover fuel from refining gas. And it's the most toxic emissions on the planet, but they use it for cloud seeding. The military says they use it to hide from missiles, but we know better than that. So anyway, here we are just going over the next 12 hours, 18 hours, 24 hours, 30 hours, so 36, 48. So pretty much the next 48 hours, you got heavy rainfall there in California. And look at this severe looking stuff right here on Saturday, May 18th. Look at that. That looks severe. We could be looking at tornadoes in North Nebraska, South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. So let's keep our eyes on that. You know what's really crazy? Where's all the bad storms that are supposed to hit the Midwest? The ones the mainstream are talking up. I guess that's it right there. So by this, it doesn't look that bad. We're going to have to go check something because something doesn't look kosher here. So let's bring up this worldview map, or the Earth Null. And let me bring up the some stuff that will help us figure this out. Now, I can only go up a couple days, so let me see here. Now, this is the 3-hour precipitation forecast. So there's that same severe rain up north. So it's not hardly showing anything for this tornado outbreak that the mainstream is calling for. Maybe here it is. So this is on the 18th. So yeah, this is Saturday. So according to this, it's coming in around Saturday. Let's check the Cape, the energy. Let me fast forward this energy, see where it goes. So that definitely looks pretty damn strong right there. Look at that straight line. Not possible. Nature, unaffected nature, does not do straight lines. It does not do square clouds and all the crap that we are seeing nowadays. So I just want to check a couple things here. I mean, you're just going to be able to look up in your sky tomorrow, and they're going to be, if you're out ahead of these storms, there's going to be a fleet of airplanes out there loading the sky up with the the chemtrails and the doped up jet fuel. Mark my words, they'll be there. All right, just want to check the wave heights while we're right here. Everything looks just fine. While we're here, let's go ahead and check the sea surface temperatures. Now, the mainstream, we're saying we're going to have this huge El Nino this year. They were talking about it back in November of last year. And I kept looking at the southern oscillation models, and I wasn't seeing it. It wasn't going to happen. And sure enough, it's still not happening. They're calling this a weak El Nino. There's only a little bit of heating there, but we've got tons of cold water everywhere. And if we go back to 2016, that was the last weak El Nino year. Get it to load here. And so this was the last weak El Nino, and this is actually, it was actually slowing down. If you go up a few days, it was even more hotter. So you can see the huge bands of the hot water. So let's go back to now. So yeah, see, it's not even close to El Nino, but that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing, because that means the hurricane season is going to be much worse, because you got a lot of heat up here for these storms to work with. Anyway, all right, we're probably done with that. Done with the models. Let's go ahead and check the world view real quick. Now, I probably didn't get this loaded very far. You know, we documented these ships out here for days and days, and hopefully we can get something to load semi-clear. And if not, we'll go to something else. So we still have cloud seeding operations out here off the coast of Washington. And you can see they call this, you know, water vapor. Look, water vapor does not expand into a giant cirrus cloud. That's not, you know, that's not water vapor. That is a cloud seeding, and that's what's causing this synthetic looking clouds. These are not normal clouds. Clouds are white. Clouds are not gray. And also you got spraying operations all the way here up into Alaska. Hey, thanks there, Funky Blue. Much love out there. Nice crowd out there. Hopefully people are going to be getting informed tonight, because there's in complete control of the weather, man. In fact, you can go to some of these other countries that admit to it, and they offer tornado mitigation. They can steer the tornadoes. They got tornado mitigation. They got both. So anyway, looks like the spraying operations have gone down here in BC, but we've seen that some of the main spraying operations right now are up into Canada, but you know, we were showing you how these have already drifted down and went into Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. You can still see, if you click the layers, you can see how it goes forward. So these maps, sometimes these maps are, you know, hours off. Look at this heavy line right over Wisconsin. And like, we can confirm this spraying operation right here on the satellite feed. This is the live satellite feed with the time stamps. And we can crank this on so we can see it a little better. And here you go. All these lines, these are turning into a weather system. If this was water vapor, it would evaporate. This is a weather control program. I mean, it's undeniable. Only America denies it. All the other countries, almost all the other companies admit to the weather engineering, but you know, they want to keep the American people dumb. They don't want you to rise up and fight this. Anyway, we still got mega fires going on down here in Mexico. Some of them have gone down a little bit, but so yeah. So you can bet the aerosols are going to really ramp up overnight and into tomorrow. You know, usually they cloud seed 2 days before the storm hits where they want it to hit. They help guide it. Then they'll be spraying in the backside. So they're going to pull this up. They're going to pull this down. They're both going to meet right here, and wham, you have yourself a tornado outbreak with large hail, damaging winds. We're looking at some 80-mile-an-hour winds. So, you want to see real clouds? Here's some real clouds over North Carolina and Virginia. The white puffy clouds you might only get to see once to twice a month. That's it. That's all you ever get to see them anymore. It's nothing like it used to be. Hey, no problem. We have to. We are guided to do this, so that's why we do it. And it's, a lot of the pilots don't even know. I'm sure they do, but a lot of the pilots may not know that this stuff is coming out of the back. Now, I've exposed there's a company that tells this stuff when to turn off and on. There's an app for these spraying planes. A lot of this is military, a lot of it's drones, some of it's commercial flight, and they could just be mixing the fuel up with the JP7. I mean, NASA admitted that the contrails today, here you can hear it from the voices, the horse's mouth here. Let's hear what they had to say.
So you just mentioned contrails. So how do the contrails affect or have an impact on the climate?
Right. Well, contrails have a huge impact on climate. And so, in fact, some of the recent modeling work that has come out of DLR suggests that contrails today, just the ones that we're able to see up in the sky, maybe today, this week, this month, have a larger impact on Earth's climate than all of the carbon dioxide emitted by aircraft since the first powered airplane flight. So that's a huge effect. And so even as CO2 accumulates, greenhouse gases accumulate in the atmosphere, the impact of these contrails trapping heat and reflecting sunlight back into space is having a huge effect on the Earth's energy balance. And so
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're dumping more particles this week than all of the aviation since the very first plane. That's why our skies are so toxic. That's why we're all have a chest infection. That's why we're all sick. So there you go. There's NASA and DMI admitting that they're doping up the jet fuel. They're admitting that they call them contrails, but they're admitting that they're having a huge effect on the planet's, on the planet's ecosystem, on everything. It's reflecting the sunlight. It's trapping the heat in. But yet, not one damn person that is trying to push this climate change agenda will even freaking touch that. That tells you right there that they're all just evil, conniving, lying sacks of shit. That's what they are. So anyway, I wanted to show you guys some of these weird spraying operations. Look, the ships are gone. There is no ships at all. They were out here for 7 days straight loading up all these next systems, and they're just gone. So either they're cloaked or they're going back into bay to reload on the bunker fuel. But we do have aerosols being deployed out here. Now I wanted to go ahead and check the whole map. So let's go ahead and get this to play here. Looks like the midnight road crew is out there doing stuff to the road. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Hey, thanks out there, Troy. Much love out there. Christy, much love. Matthew, hey, I got that in the PO today too. Thanks, Sarah. I think that was Christy that sent me that, the iodine and stuff. Much love out there. So yeah, we got mega spraying going on up in Canada. Over there in Toronto, Vancouver, you got aerosols being deployed in the Bajas. I'll zoom in on some of these. We've already seen this aerosol operation up here. We should go look up in the north and down in the south there, just so that we can document this, see what they're doing out here off the Oregon and Washington coast. So let's get this to play. And what I think I'm going to do, guys, if I got time, when the show is over, we're going to jump over to DLive, and we can do some talking freely without the censorship of YouTube. And the other thing over on, I know some people are having a hard time getting it to work, but I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to get it to work. And we'll try to figure that out. But the quality of a live video there looks just like what I'm looking at. I've had tons of people let me know, man, I went over and checked that out, and it's completely, they've seen stuff they've never seen before because the quality is so good. So we may go do a little video over there after this show just to talk about some stuff that I can't talk on here. But yeah, man, huge. Look at this. Tic-tac-toe. Wonder if I can make this come out a little better. Let me try the microphysics. It'll come out like in a blue line. But man, there's like 5 tic-tac-toe boards right there. Let me disable that. Now you can see on this map, it'll be the dark blue lines that are the aerosols being deployed from the planes. And you can see they're in patterns and, you know, whatnot. They're all for a reason. So look at these grid lines. So you have mega spraying operations. The dark blue lines there, hopefully you guys can see them. I know the people over on DLive can see them right now. Let me click play. Look at that. Look at them aerosols being deployed in the exact spots. They're just, and then you got another operation, secondary, third operation. Look at that, tic-tac-toe over and over. Look at them trails coming up. See, they're splitting this low pressure system into 2. That's what it looks like right there. So you have mass spraying, big time. All right. So anyway, guys, I think we're going to keep this show a little bit short, and I'm going to kind of get ready, and then I'll probably go do a show over there on DLive. Here, let me get the link for you guys. It's basically just DLive TV, Above Ground World News, the capital first letter. Here, let me see if I can get this copied here. Now the screen will just be black over there till I go live. So you gotta wait. You just gotta wait till it goes live and all that stuff. But anyway, guys, much love. We need to rise soon. So we're gonna jump into the song Rise. I'll come join you in chat for a few minutes. Thanks everybody that shares this information out. YouTube is completely shadow banned us. We should have triple the viewers that we do. Like, if it wasn't for you guys, we'd be way back where we was. So you guys are definitely helping us try to get the word out to go around the censorship. Anyway, guys, let's rise.